Well, unlike what's happened in the LMS, for this year we've got a different system for qualifying. It's not the fastest lap that counts. It's the fastest average of two drivers of 2 laps each. So effectively the fastest of 4 laps. And that means that traffic plays a big factor. You know, the guy that starts usually has got a clean-ish run without traffic. But then at the end of the session, everybody's out together. And everyone's trying to do the same sort of thing. And so you do have to try and pick and choose your timings and spacing, which is difficult. It's easier around here because it's a longer circuit. Brazil was really tough because it's a narrow track, but also quite short. But overall, you know, Loic threw down some really good laps on his first run, did 3 laps. I jumped in. We thought about our qualifying strategy quite a lot after Brazil, where we missed it by 5 thousandths of a second, I think it was, average over 4 laps. And so therefore we planned it slightly differently. And I got 2 clean laps in towards the end. There was a scruffy first lap. I found it very windy out there actually, and through the very, very fast turn 6 I had quite a lot of oversteer, which I'm sure looked spectacular on board, but it was a little bit heart thumping inside the car. And then, like I said, I got it sort of sorted out, tidied up, and then 2 clean ones at the end, which was just enough to put us on pole by, I think, 1/4 of a second. In qualifying, you always push the car and the tyre to the absolute limit and beyond. Invariably, you're going faster than you've ever done before, so you're pushing into the unknown to some extent. And, you know, that certainly was the case through, say, turn 19. On the final lap, I threw the car in with the knowledge I had, one in the pocket, if you like, a safe, good lap in the pocket, but I threw the car in with a little bit of a hope and a prayer that the front was going to hook up and take you through. Now, the circuit lends itself to that in some sectors. The first part, you do have to really attack. You can't be gentle at all. You've got to really mash the throttle, and you've also got to throw the car around to make it change direction, to keep the grip into it and to keep the speed through there. But then the last sector, you have to have a certain amount of delicacy as well, because if you just push in that little bit too deep into the hairpins through turn 12, 13, 14, 15 area, then you can very easily just lock an inside wheel and then slide 1 or 2 meters wide. And the grip window is quite narrow there. The grip line is quite narrow there. And so therefore, if you're on the line, fine, you go through. If you're not, you slide wide. So there is an element of total attack, and there's an element of areas where you just have to maybe put velvet gloves on as well.
Qualifying matters all the time. I mean, it's always important. We are sportsmen, and you have to feel comfortable. And lap times, when they are good, you always feel comfortable, and that's important for all of us. But for sure, here, when you are doing endurance races, it's 6 hours race. It's not the most important thing, you know, being first, second, third, or even last. You know, you still can win the race. So it's not the most important. But at the end, also, it's 1 point, and we all know that. Inside the Audi house, we are fighting between 2 cars for the driver championship. So in a way, it's always nice to get that point for you and not from the other car. But for sure, it's not the most important thing. After, to be honest, here, the Audi e-tron Quattro has been so competitive since the beginning. But it was tricky out there this afternoon because it was raining a lot yesterday. This morning was cold, and we get on the track. You know, it's kind of a green track, hot temperature, so to be honest, the car was not perfect, but I think it was the same for all of us. So we have to work on it, because the most important, once again, it's tomorrow and was not today. So we have to change a little bit the setup for tomorrow. But at the end, it's good to start from pole. It's good for Audi being first and second. And now we're going to do our maximum to carry on that momentum till tomorrow night.